immigration enforcement minded. There is no immigration enforcement on the border. The Border Patrol agents will tell you they're more of a welcoming group now. I'm surprised they're not handing out Democratic voter registration cards when they release them. This is what this president has done is defy this country. He has violated the oath he took. Same with the secretary. The secretary needs to be impeached. He needs to be removed. He has violated his oath. He's not the Secretary of Homeland Security. He's the Secretary of Homeland Insecurity, because this homeland is less safe under his leadership.
So the Remain in Mexico policy, you mentioned it a couple times. If I'm correct, there's a court order now that should be reinstituted at this particular point. So if that has a court order now, why is it that is not happening?
Yeah, so let me take that. So Tom and I both participate in the state of Texas, and let me back up a little bit on this, because the Remain in Mexico lawsuit is very critical. One, substance, because they were forced to reinstate it, so that's clear. But the other thing is, remember, who joined Texas with that? The state of Missouri, right? So one of the first times it really brought light to that this is not just a border state issue, right? Again, that what happens on the border impacts every state. So I was very glad to see an interior state join a lawsuit of a border state to really drive that home. But look, because I was involved in the implementation of the Remain in Mexico program under President Trump. And what I saw right from the day the court ordered this administration reinstated, they slow rolled it. And I know they slow rolled again because I oversaw the implementation of it before. And so now they started to implement it in just one of the 9 sectors along the southwest border. And they continue to make a mockery out of the court's order. And how do I say that? Not my opinion. Let me give you some facts. So in December, remember, 178,000 encounters in 30 days. Guess how many illegal aliens they enrolled in the program? Under 300. Out of 178,000. And then keep in mind, what was the genesis of the Remain in Mexico program? Tom mentioned that. Remember, at the time, because of the Florida Settlement Agreement, right, that says we cannot detain families for more than 20 days, and you can't see a judge within 20 days, that started catch and release for families. So in 2019, that was a driving cause of the crisis, is that families, you come to a border illegally with a kid, that was your automatic passport in the United States. The Migrant Protection Program closed that loophole down. So not only is this administration only enrolled, I think it's like 260 in December, but guess how many families they enrolled, which is the driving force why we did MPP? Zero. It's only single adults, which makes no sense. It's a joke. And I'll go a step further. The single adults aren't from Mexico, and they're not from the Northern Triangle countries, which is where the majority of single adults come from. They're single adults from outside Cuba and Venezuela. So it's a complete joke. They're defying the court's order, and it's having zero impact on the illegal immigration flow.
And you know what the most disgusting thing about this whole thing is? Me and Mark both started about the same time. We both worked for 6 presidents. Me and Mark, I've served 6 presidents. I never thought I'd retire and have to sue a president. I've written more affidavits suing this president than I did as an agent. And we were 6. We're 3-0 right now, and we're going to keep winning, because we're not only showing they're ignoring the law, they're actually violating it. But when Texas won that, because the judge said you're going to reinstate this because it's effective and it secures the border. What did they do? They appealed the decision. This administration appealed a federal judge's decision to secure the border. Think about that. It's disgusting.
And what do they do? Real quick to piggyback, I never thought, and I don't take solace in this. It's actually been very hard for me to say this, that our president has lied to the American people, right? Let me give you one of many examples. Border Patrol agents.
He's facilitating cross-country crime.
He is, absolutely. So Tom, I talked about this. Here, I'll just give you one clear-cut example from the president to include the secretary. Agents whipped migrants, right? A complete lie. It did not happen. But yet the President of the United States weighed in and said emphatically that they would be held accountable, that this brings back memories of a gone-by era, right? It was a lie. Never happened. They're never trained. They're not whips, they're reins. And oftentimes they're taught to circle the reins around. And actually it's for the horse, because what they're trying to do is avoid the horse from trampling the illegal alien. That's the truth. Right, but and then the secretary, he gets out there and he does the same thing. Yep. He vilifies them. He scapegoats them. He acts as judge, jury, and executioner. And shame on him. He was a former prosecutor. He knows better. You're supposed to wait. You're supposed to wait till all the evidence and information comes in before you act as judge, jury, and executioner. It's pathetic. And oh, by the way, this is the same secretary that, as we have had the most illegal aliens come to our southwest border in our lifetime, that still doubles down and says the borders are closed. He's a liar. And that's why this week they had a Border Patrol agent during the muster turned his back on the secretary. And the secretary thought he was being really clever, and he told the Border Patrol agent, well, you may turn your back on me, but I'm not turning my back on you. And what did the agent reply? Oh, yes, you did, the first day you took office.
Yeah.
Right?
Guys, I hate to tell you.